we're looking forward to the future, and this is something we sort of localized. Oral sightseeing, perhaps that might be the future. Oral sightseeing, the event will be about navigating in a non-visual way, navigating through space, navigating through history, and that's the sort of red line in the evening. We'll have one developer, academics, and some artists.
I'm not actually sure what we were going to do. We just were going to do something with sound in the in Utrecht, and so we were trying to figure out, well, how do we... Turns out that Seven Scenes is a very sophisticated and interesting way to be able to structure storytelling, but I didn't know that. So we were trying to figure out, well, how do we take something that is completely non-linear, as you saw before, that map of the city was just points everywhere, and how do we kind of create a some sort of a linear experience out of that? So then that's where this idea of the trajectory, of the trajectum of Utrecht emerged as being the old canal that leads you through the city. So we could just then let people go down the canal from one point to the other, and that would be the that would be their trajectory, and that would sort of give a certain order to the experience. So there is this kind of idea of a liminal space where you go down into another world, and we'll kind of explain that a bit more in a moment. These are things that you hear on your phone.
My name is Ronald Lens, and as introduced, I actually started working here at the Waag Society, a media lab in Amsterdam, in the oldest non-religious building in Amsterdam, so we're drenched in history, basically. And I run a small startup company that came out of that's more sound. That came out of the Waag, which is a media lab, a foundation. And just basically see how you can turn research into a small product. It's not easy to create new mobile experiences. So how do you do these things? Our journey has not only been about how do you create a platform to make it easy for people to develop mobile projects, but also to discover the design principles as we go along. City maps, we all love them. We just saw the trajectum in Utrecht. This is London, I think in the 17th century. This is London now, but we try to look at the city in a different way as well. So this is also London.
Okay, our next guest is Steph Scagliola, and she's a military historian, museologist. She did her dissertation on war crimes during the decolonization of Indonesia, and is particularly interested in oral history and ego documents, and is currently researcher at the Veteran Institute in the Netherlands.
I came to the idea of setting up this great oral history project, which is a really tremendous experience. I've had the whole history of the 20th century in my ears by hearing. We began with people who were born in 1910, and we have ended with people who were young boys who were sent to Afghanistan, who were just 20, 22, 24. What do we ask these people when we interview them? It's a biographical interview, because what's very interesting about veterans is that they have gone through a period of transition. First they were a civilian, and then they go through, they are formed, they get their education, they become a military, they are sent out to war, to a peace mission, that they come back, they go out of the armed forces, and then they become civilians again in order to behave and act according to specific situation, they have to adjust their norms and values. And that means they go through transitions. And in retrospective, they tell you about these transitions. And that's extremely interesting because it has historical facts and making sense of their lives. So it's sense making, historical facts, narratives. It like the former slide that you saw, it has all these layers which are all in the content of this story.
Thank you very much for staying up so late on the longest day of the year. Oral sightseeing seems to me a way to look differently at things, look differently at a space, actually to create sound out of public space in this case, of the song lines, to refer to Mark the way we interpret what we take of it. What I took of the song lines when I traveled in the outback in Australia and worked with musicologists and anthropologists there, is I started to create from urban objects and architecture and public space urban song lines that describe through music made from sound recordings that site specifically are generated from the topography, from this architecture. Allows us to listen to spaces instead of just looking at them. So I need four volunteers to help me today to navigate this room by song. And on the front you will feel a round button that allows you to vary the speed of the apparatus. You can walk around the room and walk very slowly, and you have to navigate avoiding the objects by walking very slowly and listening to the echoes that come from your pulses. Turn them off, thank you very much. I have now taken the samples that I recorded just in the room. I imported them, I've been importing the sounds into the computer, and I will now start making music based on the sounds we just recorded. Thanks.
Right now, we can have one more drink, but then let's take it outside and go for a walk, because Ricarda and Mark have this Ritonel project that we can see at this moment, and there will be something in the cellar of Marco.